Might have the high boots.
Let me know how the audio is, guys. We're going to get going in a little bit, a couple seconds. Let me know how this audio is. All right, hang on. All right. Remember, if the audio is bad, it's your fault, not mine. Remember that. Just remember that. All right, let's get this kicking. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you're all well. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Captain Black, haven't seen you in a minute, or maybe I have. I don't know. It's all the streams are just a blur now. Johnny, Joe McGinnis, David, what's going on? Ronald, how are you? Welcome. This is Monday at Adorama, so I'm live noon Eastern time. This is the 17th time we're doing this, guys. There's 17 weeks. There's over 20 hours of these live streams where I basically talk things out with you guys and demo what I can. I got Quinn with me as always. This one, my setup's a little smash and grab today because Joe McNally was here. He was hanging out. I'm babysitting his kit in the back while he goes and takes care of some stuff. We made it through the heat. I don't know about that. Who's we? I'm still dying over here. Are you kidding me? I'm still dying over here. I am not built for the summer. I just am not. I've been dealing with a bunch of issues with being sick. I had a thing with my eye. Now, the new thing, I have some injury on my rotator cuff, so this is going to be great. But I brought a lightweight camera today instead of the Z9, so or the GFX. So hopefully I can keep it stable. Pretty much, hey, Leandro, how are you? So I just to let you guys know, it's July 4th week here at Adorama, and usually we keep things low key for events. But if you want, right here, you can see a bunch of stuff that's about to happen next week, like photo walks. There's going to be demos in here, obviously. Got Charles Chesler doing a photo walk, RSVP for those. Don't just show up, RSVP for those so you know how many people to expect. We have Gary Hughes doing a photo walk with Fujifilm, and then later in the day, he's going to be doing a big portraits in a small space. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone keeps calling this a small space. We make a lot of things happen in this small space. And we also have Johnny Edwards doing a demo later on in this month. So check out all the stuff here at adorama.com/events. Make sure you follow Adorama on Eventbrite, and you'll get notified for, why is everyone texting? You'll get notified for all the events and all the stuff that gets listed. The photo critique is also back. If you were in New York or you were going to be in New York, July 22nd, me and Daniel Norton will be here. You can submit up to 3 images. We pick one and we talk about it as a group. This is not live streamed. This is not content. This is not virtual. This is in-house. It's very chill. I actually really enjoy it. I'm glad that we're bringing it back. So if you're going to be in New York or you are in New York, check out the events page for all the information on that. All right. So that's the catching you guys up to speed. The heat bubble bursts over the Midwest, still 90, 101. Yeah, it's New York heat is like no other. You can't even describe it. It's like this weird humidity that you think you can understand humidity till you come to New York and go, this is different. This is crazy. Yeah, shoulder issues are rough. I've had a lot of shoulder issues over the years. Bunch of injuries, broke this shoulder. Of course, carrying like around a 60 to 80 pound bag around the world to do that to you. Lugging things like this, 100 pounds of gear on me. I'm lugging around the airport. What do you think's going to happen? But something just happened this weekend. I don't know what it was, but something popped and it's not feeling great. So hopefully I can get it back to 100. Anyway, guys, you know how this is. This is basically an Ask Me Anything. You guys can bring up some things you're having issues with. I try to answer them. If I can demo it, I will demo it with whatever I got around me. I don't have much, but I got some stuff. Actually, I have some new toy here that Profoto has let me borrow for a little while. And you guys saw Daniel Norton use it last time he was live. This is the Profoto Magnum white version with white grids. And look at how thick the Profoto grids are. Like, they do not mess around. This is like a sewer lid of grid. This is a 10-degree grid, and you'd think a 10-degree would be tighter, but that's really what a 10-degree is when you're talking about a Magnum. Kind of crazy, right? The strap hang on. Okay. I am gonna go into the IG sticker, an IG sticker that I put out every week, the day before and the day of I go live here, to go through some of the questions you guys left me over there. Do you guys want to get into that? Do you guys want to get into the IG sticker? Or do you guys have something you want me to get to? I feel like you guys are just talking about the weather now. I know I'm on a crazy delay. Right now, there's about 50 of you in the chat, only 9 likes. If you guys could tap like, it really helps out the channel, which, by the way, thank you so much. It is flying. We are going to be at 12,000 sooner than we thought. Hopefully we can get to that not triple digit, when we're talking about 6-figure number of 100K and get that silver play button on this channel. That would be great. So Ian's asking, does the thickness of the grid really make a difference? Yes, it actually does. When you're so can you guys see me through this? The second I move it, what happens? I'm gone, right? Because the length of the honeycomb will keep your beam that much tighter. Does that make sense? So when we talk about grids being a degree, we're talking about degrees like this, right? 10 degree is pretty tight. When it's a 10 degree on an angle, look how little of an angle I got to do to make it not transfer light in this direction straight, right? Like, look at that. Just a little pivot and I'm gone. Little pivot and I'm gone, right? This is how much I'm pivoting it. That's it. That's it, right? So this is flat, right? Right? Here's a pivot and I'm gone. Here's how much I pivot it. So it is insane amount of control when you want it. And I mean, I think Profoto makes probably the thickest grids I've seen out there. They're also, you're paying for them. Don't forget that. So yeah, it does make a difference. Also, on a more of a superficial note, I find that thicker grids are more durable. And what I mean by that is, how many of you guys have grids out there that are pretty thin and they have like holes jammed in them, they're dented, they're smashed, right? Not that that makes a major difference, but if you want a clean looking projection of light, you're gonna want this to be open. This is kind of one of those things. The white grid though, very special. The white grid is very, very cool. I'm very happy that Profoto is venturing into these weirder modifiers, right? They're doing some kind of, they're getting a little weird with it. This is something you don't see too often. And this is a metal grid. I have seen speedlight grids that were plastic, and because they were white plastic, it transcended light differently. This is white powder coated, not paint. This is a powder coat, so it is durable. But the white is really interesting because it bounces off of the honeycomb a little bit, and what you end up getting is more of a diffused look on the edge of the light that's being cast. So it's pretty cool, you know? Are there different thicknesses for softbox grids as well? Kind of no. So your softbox grid can kind of only be as deep as the box itself. So for example, let me see if I got, this is a Profoto 1x3, right? And this is, I mean, this has got to be probably like 2-inch grid, right? But that's because I have this much of a flag. If I have a flat, a less recessed front, there's only so much room for a grid to sit in there. So it kind of gets like that. Yes, there are grids that are more, I don't want to say prominent. They're a little bit more external, like they're on some boxes out there, on some brands, on some style soft boxes, it does sit more outside of the box. What you might find though is that the structural, like it'll sag a little bit and things like that. So it's kind of a good way to have a frame, but generally speaking, the depth of the box, the recession of the box, because there are brands out there like Chimera is famous for making like a flat front box where there is no recessed diffusion. It doesn't flag, so it spills everywhere. Daniel's a huge fan of those boxes. I like those boxes in certain situations, but I will always take a recessed box over a flat front type box because I'd rather have the control than not, you know? So, you know, that's kind of, these little tiny things can make a big difference depending on what you're doing, depending on how much control you want, depending on your precision, depending on even if you're someone that even notices that type of difference in light. But something like how much you can pivot your light and still get it to cover your subject, that's a big difference, you know? You guys still in there? I feel like I lost you. Am I just rambling now? Does this make no sense to anybody? Yeah, Johnny, I'm sorry about that. If you remember your question, I'll answer it here, you know? This is thick, yes. But when you hold it, you can feel like how, I don't want to say rugged, maybe like robust it is. Very cool. And I haven't really shot too much with the white Magnum, but over my years in this industry, I have myself taken grids and spray painted them with heat resistance white spray paint to get the weird diffused edge. It's not even weird. It's just, you know, what is this? What is this? No, we're not doing this. I don't know who you are or what that was about, but what is this? You are gone, sir. Goodbye. Okay, so Joel is asking, do you almost always use a grid for your own work? No, I don't. It depends on what I'm going for. So you kind of find this balance, right? You find this balance between a smaller modifier and a modifier that might give you a larger light, but more control when you put the grid on. So the grid is going to boost up your contrast. You know, if you want that fall off on things like your cheekbone to the jawline, things like that. Let me show you. If you want fall off more, nope. This, yeah, okay. So if you want fall off more like this, you know, you want that contrast boosted as opposed to having more of an open shadow look to it. A lot of people swear by throwing the grids on, right? It depends on what you're really going for. It depends on what you want your light to cover. Do you want it to cover a background and your model? Then no, I don't want to use grids if I only have one light source, right? So you're kind of, you got to start making decisions towards what you want to have happen and then understand which tools will get you that result, you know? I hope that makes sense. I feel like every time you guys ask me a question, it's kind of like, well, it depends. Sort of. There's never like a full-on answer because in reality, everything we shoot, it's an endless variable, right? The variable is our subject, our environment, what we're shooting with, what look we're going after. Hey, Brad, what's going on, buddy? It's just this endless thing we chase for control because it's the only thing we can maintain control of is the light we're creating. I'll tell you, you know, you can work in the same studio 7 days in a row. Every day is going to have this different feel to it for some weird reason. You know, it does, things make differences that you don't even think would make a difference, you know? Sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm live right now. Anybody not understand what I'm saying there? So when you look at something like a beauty dish, by the way, a grid is a monster difference. Monster difference. And why is that? Because when you're using a beauty dish, right? And this is my gorgeous, so far not dented yet, silver. Oh, this one's, someone taped it closed. Silver Pro Photo beauty dish. The grid, not so thick, huh? Not so thick, but yet yet we still have a lot of control when it comes to how we pivot it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the diameter is bigger. The other thing is, with beauty dishes, how many times do you guys see us do this and then we want to have a reflector here? Well, if I have a grid on, right, then there's not a lot of light spilling off the grid, off of the beauty dish this way. It's going straight more like this. So if I have my beauty dish at a 45 at my subject, and I'm hoping that I have a reflector, let's say this is my reflector because it's a nice white circle, right? This will hit this. But if I have a grid on and it's cutting this way as opposed to spilling this way, that light is not going to hit this reflector. And that's when you start running into a lot of issues when it comes to, well, I'll just throw in a fill card. I'll just throw in a bounce. Will you? Because if you're gridded up, you're going to have one hard time getting that reflector to make any difference. And you might even sacrifice your initial look of the key light, the shape of your subject, just to get it to bounce, you know? No worries, Marcus. Appreciate you being here. We're going to be seeing more of Marcus soon, hopefully. I don't want to spoil anything, but and I don't want to jinx anything, so we'll see what happens. But you might be seeing your boy Marcus a little more. All right. Do you guys want me to go into the Instagram questions? Because I think there actually were some there, even though I had like 10 tons of drama on Instagram all weekend over dumb things that shouldn't be happening. But what do I know, right? Oh, is Ab in the chat? Hey, what's up, Ab? How you been, man? If you guys don't know Ab Cisse, he's got a series called Level Up with Ab Cisse on the main channel. It's an amazing series. He's had incredible demos on this channel. 3 amazing demos on this channel by Ab Cisse. One of the best in the game, without a doubt. Not even gonna play. Man, it is getting hot in here. Do you guys mind if I just run off camera for 2 seconds to turn on the air conditioning before I die? I'll be back in 2 seconds. You'll probably still hear me talking. It's okay. We're still talking. I'm off camera, but it doesn't matter. You guys are still with me, right? I know. I'm looking at this nice thermostat that's saying, hey, do you not want to die? There's actually a setting, don't die. I'm going to put that on right now. Hey, look at that. It throws me a life preserver. That's the whole setting. It just throws me a life preserver. All right. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I hope Quinn kept you you guys company, you know? Oh my gosh. So, let's go take a look at the IG stories really quick. This, I gotta tell you, these streams, I'm always like, I'll keep it simple today. And then I always look around and it's like a mess of so much stuff everywhere. Sorry. Break glass for non-flammable gingers. Wow. I don't want to talk about flammable. I've been talking about flammable all weekend. We're not doing this. All right. Hey, Gary, if you guys don't know, like I said, Gary Hughes will be here. Check out this QR code. He's going to be doing a walk with Fujifilm during the day. I think that's on, when is that? That is on the 15th. And then he's going to be doing a demo here, 5 p.m. It'll be streamed to this channel. So make sure you hit subscribe. You're not going to miss that. Gary Hughes, one of the best educators, hands down, without a doubt, and solid human being, which we need more of in this world because there's a lot of stupid things going on in this industry that, I don't want to get into drama, but I feel like we're going to get into drama. All right. Also, Gary Hughes is in Florida, so it's got to be, it's got to be horrible down there with all the humidity and everything. Yeah, if you guys missed it, I had Kevin Wilson on Coffee with Creators, and he does incredible work with high-level metal bands all over the world and shoots for the FDNY here in New York. Really, really great talk. The comments have been incredible. And Coffee with Creators needs some love, guys. I don't know if you guys even know that that's going on, but there's almost 60 individual guests on that podcast, just so you know. Gary, come on, keep it clean for me, please. Please. I got a bot that's going to keep on flagging you now. All right, so yeah, Kevin Wilson was awesome. If you guys missed it, I'll throw the link in the chat to Kevin. Let me just really quickly see if I can find it. Hang on. Adorama. I tell you what, I'll put the link to all the Coffee with Creators in the chat. You guys can find every episode's a different guest. That's 60 people that are just awesome that you should know about. I hear a dog. I want to play with the dog. Where's the dog? What kind of dog is it? Sometimes I'm just like, Adorama's puppy game here is like undefeated. We have such good pups come in here. Love it. Love it all the time. Command C. All right, so this is the Coffee with Creators playlist. You can check out last week. There is no CWC this week. It's 4th of July. We don't really see a lot of... I don't want to burn great content when you guys aren't going to be there for me, you know? It sounds great. So I'm glad you said that, Ab. I've been testing some noise reduction in live noise reduction filters. Some sound horrible with certain voices. So if this one sounds cool, Ab Cisse knows how loud that air conditioner is. So if this sounds good to you, I'm good. Vanessa Joy's was great. Jerry Guionis's was great. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, I think it's such a good show, and it's live. You guys get to join us. You guys get to jump in that chat, ask all the questions you want to these people that I think you should know about with incredible skills and careers and insights. Like, come on, guys. It amazes me that some of these CWCs are at 1,000 views. Like, what is going on here? That's a 1.4 million subscriber channel. 1,000 views? I don't get it. Are podcasts just oversaturated for you guys? Is there just too many of them? Is this just another one? You don't sound modulated? Oh, cool. The problem I'm finding with some of the noise filters is they DS really hard and some words don't sound right. I ran one for Vanessa Joy's business talk and she kept saying the word leads and people were commenting that they didn't know what she was saying. And then they realized, oh, leads. So hopefully this sounds good. Also, Vanessa Joy's demo was awesome. She did a great talk on business. But I mean, she's Vanessa. She's good. She does great stuff. The Adorama store is a very old building that has been through a lot. I'll just say that. And we love her. We love her, you know? All right. All right. So next week we have Sam Beret coming on for CWC. He's a great filmmaker. You've seen him on the main channel doing a lot of new product videos for like video related stuff. Really cool guy. I went to Japan with him. Really, really great guy. Love the guy. Love him. You're going to like him too. Trust me. Super talented. One of the nicest guys on the planet. And I'm really glad that we're giving him his props, you know? All right. So where's my... All right. So Instagram questions. Let's go. Okay. Where are my Instagram questions? They need to they don't put all the questions in one place and it drives me kind of crazy. Oh, I missed the questions from yesterday. No, that sucks. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of questions about fire photos after me talking about how you shouldn't be lighting children on fire for photos. And I don't want to run down this drama rabbit hole, but I'm going to stand by the fact that you should not be lighting people on fire for photos especially when they're children, and especially when you do not have any licensed pyrotechnics, fire personnel, I mean, fire department, EMTs there, I mean, all of it. I'm looking at people doing some very dangerous things like having dry hair that isn't even tied up while they're lighting fire on things and spraying atmosphere, which this is not Atmosphere's fault. They've been doing proper labeling, saying how dangerous this stuff is, and people are spraying this into around open flames on people. And this is butane, this is propane, this is highly flammable. They can't even ship it any other way but ground because of what it is. And people are spraying it near, it's not a joke. It's not funny. There is no jokes to be had here. And I've been taking a lot of heat for that. So there's at least 4 or 5 questions asking, so how would you do live fire photos safely? Number 1, go to OSHA, OSHA.com or whatever website they have, and they will give you all the regulations you're gonna need to look at for something like a fire protocol. You're gonna wanna look at the pyrotechnics organizations. I think it's called APA, American Pyro Association or something, pyrotechnics, whatever it is. Just so you have an idea, there's even fire performers here in New York that get licenses and they have to renew them every year just to be able to dance with fire. There's a whole thing for it. And someone this year, apparently, from what I understand, I don't know firsthand, I just hear this through a community of performers here in New York, somebody who was unlicensed as a fire performer actually did light themselves on fire recently. So this is not a game. Not a game. I understand that the Midwest and the smaller towns love these sports portraits that they think their kids need to be lit on fire. And it's, number 1, that child has no ability to assess its own risk. Their own risk is up to whoever's in that room, and the people in that room are not taking proper precautions. It is not okay. I will stand by that. I did put out a video over a year ago where I talk about how much I do not approve of all this fire photo garbage. I think, 1, it's tacky. The trend is stupid. I don't think it's cool, even if it was done right. And I think that they're just addicted to going viral. So I am going to be working on a new video where I involve FDNY's take on it. I'm going to try to get fire performers here in New York's take on it. And I'm going to be sharing some more concrete and in-depth instances. It's just crazy to me what's going on. I'm not going to go into over the drama I just had with people on the internet. But it's crazy. I mean, I even have people trying to send me things saying that they are fire professionals and it should be okay. And it's like, 1, your credentials are from the 80s. 2, what? And 3, if you are a fire professional and you are part of the photo community, don't you think it's your job to spread word of being safer and condemning really shady practices, honestly? So I'll be working on that video. I don't want to keep going on to this, but you can even look at, yeah, right. You can even see Kevin Wilson, who was on the podcast last week, who shoots for the FDNY, and he shoots pyrotechnics all the time for metal bands on stage, that he does not condone this. So I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate no matter what I do. No matter what you say, photographers have stupid egos and they just think they know better and that nothing can ever go wrong as long as they're the one doing it. It will always go wrong. I just had Joe McNally here sharing stories about how he shut down very expensive photo shoots that he was doing with no shot ever being taken because he just felt like it was unsafe. It's crazy. So long story short, if someone is coming into your environment as a photographer, if you are setting up the environment they're going to be in, your studio, your lights, your stands, whatever, you're responsible for them. This is why we have insurance. And by the way, watch your insurance skyrocket from this once it becomes more seen as more of a common thing. And when you say you're a photographer, the insurance agent is going to be like, oh, well, there's a good chance you can be using fire because that's all I see out there. You're going to pay more. Anyway, it is your job to make sure everyone leaves your set the same way they came in. You are responsible for your I don't want to say talent, but the people you're working with. Because sometimes it could be something as simple as making sure someone doesn't have an allergy. Whenever I shoot the special effects photos, I always ask my models what allergies they have, because the second they have a latex allergy, something to the glues that they use, I've had silicone allergies, who knows? There's all sorts of things, and you don't keep an eye on that, and they've come into your world as a professional, and you aren't making sure you do your due diligence to make sure that they are properly safe and nothing can happen to them. And what are you doing? You know? So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. All right. Anyway, so there was a lot of questions about that. If you really want to at least do the research to what it would take to do live fire on a set, again, OSHA, OSHA.com. Actually, I'll give you the thing right now. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either. Yeah, so OSHA.gov, OSHA.gov. And there's also, wow, AmericanPyro.com. There is, and I mean, this is all just crazy regulations that I'm seeing here. So do not underestimate something as unpredictable as fire, especially around people that aren't used to being around fire, that aren't fire professionals. What are you doing? Especially children. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. All right, let's move on. Keep an eye out on my channel for that video when I'm done with it. It's going to take me a minute. I also don't want to bother the FDNY right now during 4th of July week. They're going to be busy with other dumb stuff happening, believe me. And I speak on this as someone that has seen horrifying burns go down in front of my face. I grew up with a father that built dragsters and race cars and stuff, and I went to those tracks and I saw those guys after accidents. I mean, burnt out hair, melted, shut eyelids, all sorts of stuff. So, and it can happen like that. Fire like that. Especially when you're spraying a butane propane-based fog spray, which, again, this is not atmosphere's fault. This is an aerosol. You should have more common sense. Let's be honest, okay? All right. So, other questions I'm getting. Okay, enough with the fire. enough with the fire questions. Oh my gosh. Let me see. It's all fire photos. Unbelievable. I am not familiar with them, no. Can I work with you as an intern? No. I don't have interns, and I don't have anything listed anywhere that I accept interns, and it's not in good taste to ask publicly while someone's on the spot on a live stream. What I recommend you do is research photographers that are in your location, that you like their work of, that you feel you can connect with, and see if they even have a section on their website where they hire assistants and hire interns. I think Joe has a section on his website, Joe McNally. Look for that. Look for listings, you know, on online bulletin boards and stuff. Join forums. But to do this on a live stream when someone's under the gun kind of here, not cool. And I respect the hustle, but there's better ways to do it, and there's more better etiquette. Okay? So just reach out to photographers. Make sure it's not a copy and paste message. Make sure you are out there looking at their work, making references to what you've seen out there, things they've done, the way they work, you know, things like that. Water shoots with gym dancers and just the same league as fire photos. Yes and no. Like, I think when it comes to water, like, you can drown easily, especially if you're doing like large fabrics and stuff like that. It's a hazard, absolutely. But a fire, like, that can go in and just spread and go crazy. Water can stay self-contained. You do need to have proper precautions, lifeguards and all sorts of stuff like that. Proper rescue, things like that, all right? For sure, you need to have someone there. Like, you're crazy if you're not. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Skip. I also haven't updated my own website in like a decade, which is crazy, but I don't know. Sorry about that. Okay, now, so Joel, I've been in talks with the content team here to try to get a legal professional to do some sort of talk here and all that kind of stuff. So I'm working on it, more of a copyright and how to work with your contracts and stuff like that. So stuff like that. Is there an effective way to use an octabox as a substitute for a beauty dish? They tend to be expensive if rarely used. Well, you're talking about two different types of modifiers right off the bat, right? So one, if you're looking for a beauty dish to give you a specific beauty dish look, a proper beauty dish is rarely replicated. I mean, we're talking about a light source that is shallow, yet completely even. And when you look at octas, they're very rarely shallow enough. They're more bell-shaped, which doesn't give you the same look as a beauty dish. But if you're not specifically looking for the beauty dish look, which I went over on episode 2 of this live stream, you can go look at that. I'm not going to go over that again, but you can go check that out on this playlist after the stream. Can you get away with throwing some sort of octa that has a deflector dish in there and get something in the pocket? Yeah, maybe. But the reality is that it's really about the shallowness of the dish that really gives you the type of look that a beauty dish can give you, you know? You can always kind of fudge something to look like something else if you know what you're doing, but you also got to be at peace with not getting the exact look of whatever it is you're trying to get. But most people, I'm not throwing shade, but most people don't even know what the exact look that they're looking for is from a modifier, unless they've worked with it for a long time or have been shooting for a long time and stuff like that, okay? It's different modifiers. I know that they call a lot of the collapsible octas beauty dishes now. I don't subscribe to that. I think that's just a product name rather than a name of the tool, you know? But yeah, I mean, do I have one here? What is this one? What is this one? I mean, this is a larger size, but you'll get what I'm talking about. This is bigger than I would use to, shoot. Just broke all my boards. But I mean, you can even see right away just how deep an octa gets compared to a dish. You know, even if this was smaller, it would still be deep. You know, there's just different tools, guys, different tools. All right. All right, what else do I got? We are flying, and man, my hair is like curling up from all the heat and humidity. Yeah. Okay. I am not sure what this question's asking me. If steel veils, are you in the chat? Can you type this out? Because I'm not sure what you're asking me. With the CTO gel and bare bulb sliders, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Kathy Brown does have a question about Cinefoil. We can talk about that if you guys want. You guys want to get into Cinefoil? We don't got too much time left, but let me see if I even have Cinefoil. Do you guys know what Cinefoil is? I have a video on my channel, Seth Miranda Cinefoil, that you guys can check out at your leisure. I will put the link in the chat. Copy, paste. That's my Cinefoil video if you guys want to check that out. All right. All right. Are there any tips for shooting in extreme heat like we had, last week in New York? Yeah, don't. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like unless you're out there, I know Marcus is out there shooting like parades and stuff. But the reality is stay hydrated, you know, try not to keep an eye on your gear. It might overheat from just direct sunlight and a heat wave, especially if you're doing video. Do I not have Cinefoil? Oh, here we go, Cinefoil. Okay, so this is a huge roll of Cinefoil. You can get Cinefoil in half this size, right? But it is basically heavy gauge, not thin foil, heavy gauge foil that is matte black and heat safe. So you can use this on lighting, and you can basically shape whatever you need as far as a snoot or a flag, or, you know, you need a little bit more on, you know, just this side of the reflector. You can build up the Cinefoil on this side and stuff like that. So this is one of those things that I feel like everybody should have a piece of in their bag. You can fold it up after you're done with it and never throw it out. You can always like repurpose Cinefoil, and you know, it adds up, and why throw it out? Also, watch your fingers. It can get sharp. I always have a joke that if I'm in somebody else's studio and I see a piece of Cinefoil, I'm always like, is it a biohazard? Because they probably cut your finger on that a few times. Is there some dried blood on that thing, you know? So just be aware that it can get sharp on the edges. And really, it's this malleable, let's see if I need a blade. This doesn't have a, let me see if I got a blade that I don't care about. Pretty much, this is something that doesn't cost a lot, that can totally save you a ton of time in a studio if you're trying to control light. If there's something spilling on an area that you don't like, piece of Cinefoil. If you want to make a snoot really fast, piece of Cinefoil. If you want to shoot a texture on a wall, put a piece of Cinefoil, chop it up, push the light through it, and it's going to project. Only because it's opaque, it's literally foiled. Let me get a piece of this out of here. So let's see. I don't want to go crazy. I need a tabletop. You guys okay in the chat? We all right? We all right? I know I left the lower third up the whole time. I'm sorry about that. I feel like these streams are always so chaotic. Even no matter how much I try to make them chill, they're never chill. Never chill. Seth Miranda doesn't get to be chill. Okay. So when I say it's heavy gauge, look at that. That's a piece holding itself up the whole way without it being floppy, right? So you can shape it however you need to do whatever you need to do. So if I, just a little bit of gaff, and now, so if I have this hanging and it's projecting a light on that background, I can then Cinefoil the back of it so that it doesn't spill onto that background while still giving me the light where I need it. You can roll it up, give it more of a snoot effect, right? Right? In my video, you see me take a whole piece of it, chop it up. There's even, you guys want to see an extreme use. This is a lot of Cinefoil. I saved all of it. Don't worry about that. But this is an extreme use of it. So the whole, I'm going to show you a special effects shoot I did that I made a cylinder out of Cinefoil, and I chopped it up and just pumped 11 strobes through it as a background. Let me see if I can get this to come up here. Let me see. Cinefoil is a light blocking material. Yeah. It's a flag, it's a snoot. You're gonna be able to custom shape. And how awesome is that? Like, you can literally bend a little bit of a corner. Like, you can get so specific. And don't forget, all this stuff is super exaggerated the smaller your set gets. So if you're doing something like a tabletop setup, just a little bit of a flag, it could affect 20 to 30% of your frame, right? The smaller the setup is, the bigger this could have an effect on it, you know? So this is Cinefoil as a background. So you see the background is like all just choppy. Can I freeze this? Oh, I can't freeze it. You see all this is like punched out holes. Yeah, there you go. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Of course I can. Why would I make it bigger? Of course they want to show you. Can I? So you can see that. And then I have haze inside that tube, and I'm able to make those projections happen, right? So you can really see, and because Cinefoil is heat safe, we're talking about hot lights, we're talking about tungsten lights, we're talking about not having to worry about it going on, what's that word? Oh, fire, you know? So yeah, this was a fun one for sure, but you can totally see how I've just built a setup out of a small setup out of a tube of Cinefoil. And and don't forget that, like, every time I cut into the Cinefoil to make that texture, I can bend it, peel it. It doesn't have to be like a piece of paper where you have to physically cut out a hole. You can just pierce it and bend it back and stuff like that, you know? I'll put a link to this in the chat if you guys want to check it out on my Instagram. Here you go. You guys can check that out. And check out my Cinefoil video about what it's about. So Cinefoil is awesome. You know, if we do a quick, actually Cliff uses Cinefoil, Cliff Hausner uses Cinefoil in the demo he did in here on this channel. If you guys want to check that out, you know. Hey, what's up, Richard. All right, let me throw a light on a thing. Oh my gosh. So imagine if you have light spilling everywhere and it's hitting a background, instead of throwing a grid on, and that will affect the light on your subject. Imagine just being able to block out some of that light. And that's really what's so great about Cinefoil. Quinn, can I get you over here? Let me just knock this out. Oh my God. Let me get you over here, kid. Yeah, I know. You thought you were going to get off without having to do a shoot. Me too. I thought we were going to be able to not do a shoot as well. Let's see if I can get this Cinefoil to kick the way we want it to kick. All right. I'm going to throw a light on here. Let's do, I don't know. We'll do the new Pro Photo lights. How's that? We'll do a B30, which is 500 watt seconds, because why not? Yeah, but it's not just the snoot. Like, you can literally make it cover only what you want it to cover. You can physically block out. Don't forget, like, this is heat safe. You can literally cover however much you want of a light. You can custom shape how tight that snoot is, or how loose it is, or how much it doesn't even cover. You know how many times I've made a snoot out of Cinefoil and just cut out like a quarter of it to be completely open? So while it's still a snoot this way, it's still casting light other places. Like, it's one of those things that you have so much ability in your hands for something that doesn't weigh anything in your bag, doesn't cost a lot, can be reusable. It's awesome. It's awesome. There's Cinefoil by Roscoe. That's the actual name from Roscoe. Like almost like Kleenex, right? Like, it's a tissue, but it's called Kleenex. That's what Cinefoil is. That's Roscoe's foil. Lee also makes a version of it. I've been known to use that as well. Neither one seems better than the other to me. Whatever you can get your hands on, go for it. In fact, do I even have a link for this stuff? Let me see. Adorama, Cinefoil. All right, here, guys. You can grab this in the chat. All right. So they were used on hot lights for sure. For sure. Okay, let's mount. Need a bag. Here we go. Man, my shoulder is wrecked. Oh my gosh. Wow, that bag felt a little too light to me. So let's throw an extra one on there just to be safe, because we don't want Quinn to get injured, right? So let's throw the Magnum like down so it's spilling, kind of like a bit of a street light, but I'll put it high up, right? That way it has enough room to spread wide and hit this background a little bit, okay? So let's, where'd I put the light? There it is, okay. What is this set to? Okay, beautiful. Why is this doing the thing? Bada bing. All right. Let's see what I got here. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to throw on, I'm going to throw, you know what? I'll switch cameras, okay? I'll switch cameras to here. We'll get rid of this. All right, so this, right? We're going to throw on the white Magnum. Whoop, 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 whoop. And we'll put it about there. And I'll even put on the modeling light. And I can see that already. Oh, you guys, let me see if you can see it here. Can you guys see that this light is on the background now, right? How about I kill some of the overhead so you guys can see it? Would that help out? Let me knock out some of this stuff. So you guys can see, right, that this light is cascading on the background. Well, I can easily just block it out with the Cinefoil, but none of the light that's on Quinn gets affected, right? So let's take a shot like this, right? We'll take a shot like this, then I'll throw the Cinefoil on and we'll see if the light changed on her. It's gonna be, let me put her a little bit on the edge of it a little more. Okay. Everybody with me? Is this helpful, guys? Is everybody with me? Okay. We'll do a TTL exposure. What's the first shot we're gonna do though before we get into throwing light at Quinn? What's the first shot, guys? You guys all know what this is. Adorama has been, Gavin was live last week. For the person in the chat asking where Gavin's been. He goes live once a month on the main channel, not this channel. This is a newer channel, hence why it's smaller. All right, black frame, let's do it. I'm going to throw you guys into my tether really quick. Let's see. Let me see something really quick. Bada bing. All right. So with no strobe, we get a black frame, right? More or less a black frame. She's a little bit there, but whatever. You'll let me off the mat on this one, right? Okay. So, oh, I'm shooting into the wrong demo file. Hold on, guys. I'm shooting into the wrong capture one. Give me 2 seconds, all right? And let me open up capture one, live demos. I should have known when I had that. There we go. There's our horrible photo of a glass bottle that we shot, but then here's a better one that we shot, right? All right, let's do the black frame again. All right, black frame. Great. Great, great, great. Cool. Now, we put in the strobe, right? Let's take a look. And it's hitting that background. This right here is that light hitting that background. So now let's put the Cinefoil in, right? Let's see how this goes. So we'll go back to here. We'll put the Cinefoil on the light. Let me get some gaff. I've got to have gaff around here somewhere. I'm just going to put on some shady, janky gaff that's been around the studio for a bit. And we'll see how much this, so obviously the longer it is, the more it's going to flag, obviously, right? The more rounded it goes, the more it's going to flag left to right, right? So let's throw this onto, I'm not going to really do this for real. Hopefully it stays on for the amount of time I need it on. And I can shape this, right? I can totally like crunch it down and shape it, right? Can you guys even see that? Let me see if I change the thing. So, right? And you can even see on the overhead that it significantly is cut down on the background. So let's take a shot with this now. Same settings, nothing's changing, right? Let's do this. big difference, but same lighting pattern on her. Everything is the same on her. The length of that shadow on her nose, the double shadow going on her neck, right? Right? So just a piece of foil let me control my setup without needing to go find a grid or change the look of my subject because I put a grid on, or having to change my modifier completely to something tighter or something like that, right? Yeah, the foil can get hot, but not with strobe usually. With strobes, it doesn't usually get hot, okay? But yeah, it's metal, so you guys have used aluminum foil before, haven't you, in your life? That's kind of what's going on here. You're just talking about aluminum foil that is a heavier gauge for you to mold, right? And also a heat resistant, light absorbing. It's matte black. It's not reflecting. When you guys use, in a pinch, I've used aluminum foil for sure, but it is reflecting like crazy. It's literally a mirror aluminum foil. This is not, okay? And then we can even shape this even more, right? Like let me see if I can, let me get some extra tape just in case, because I got a feeling this is about to get messy. Messy. I'm gonna use white tape so I can even see what I'm doing. So I can change this even more, right? I can actually cut it down into more of a V. So let me go into here, and I can really start affecting her even more if I want. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang this off the light a little bit more. I'm gonna put a piece of tape in the middle, right? And you could use, little clips, little clamps. You don't have to use tape. But I can just get half her face if I wanted to. So let's say I do this. Now just the left side of her face is going to be more illuminated than not, right? You guys can't see that. Let's just take the shot. Let's do this. I'm not going to change my exposure. I'm going to keep the light the exact same power. Same light, nothing moved, guys. Nothing moved. This is all because I'm just custom shaping the flag, right? I'm custom shaping this foil, right? And remember, where there's no light, I can put light, right? So if I wanted to, I could put in a fill light that has a gel, something on axis maybe, something like that, right? But this is how much control I have with just a piece of foil. And I can take this foil off this light, fold it up nice and neat, and keep it in my bag, right? So this is one of those tools that is just awesome. Awesome. This is all the same light. This is the same light. Nothing's moved. Haven't changed my exposure. Haven't changed the distance. Haven't changed her position. Nothing. This is all from using a customizable moldable. That's the thing. It's a moldable flag. If you were to put something in here that was to block out the light, it would be a flat card, right? And you wouldn't be able to get something that's kind of more murky looking when you're doing something where you don't want it to look super clean. Like you see how our light is gradating off here? If it was a card, you would see like a hard edge to it more. Not a definitive edge, because remember, it's close to the light, so it's not gonna be a really definitive line. If we want that definitive line, we're gonna have to have our light farther away from the card. But that's a stiff, straight line card. This lets me do whatever I want, right? We're here, right? We were here, we said, oh, we want that background minimized. We didn't affect our subject. And then we said, boom, why don't we play games and make that background not just dark, but her matching more of the environment a little bit. And we're able to do that just with a piece of Cinefoil and molding it with our hands. One of the things that's going to drive you crazy is you want to try to set this up again. It's not that easy because it's so organic feeling that there's no formula, there's no straight way to do this again, even if you save that piece of Cinefoil, right? So, it's one of those things. Does everybody get what I'm doing here? Is this helpful to you guys? If this helps, guys, throw me a like. I'd appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you haven't. But What if I took this off and I threw the grid on? What if I threw this nice, beautiful white grid on, this super expensive grid, right? I take off the cheap Cinefoil. Piece of Cinefoil is like $1, right? Maybe like a couple dollars, right? If we change that out, we change this out, and I put on the grid, and then we'll throw the Cinefoil in with the grid, and I'll show you what you can do with that, all right? So we're gonna throw the white grid inside the Magnum. Remember, this is a white Magnum, not a silver Magnum. And this is a white grid, not a black grid. I don't want to take this light down if I don't have to. Whoop, there we go. The spring's on the left side now. Got it. Got it. There we go. So the new grids, the spring is closer to the tag. Got it. All right. I don't know if you guys can tell how much light we just lost to that background, but that's exactly what you want with your grid, right? So now I'm not changing my exposure. I'm going to keep the light the same power. Camera settings the same. Let's see what happens when we get into this, all right? So we take this. She's getting bored. She's had enough. So this is the grid. This is the Cinefoil. Grid, Cinefoil. Similar, right? Very, very similar, right? Right? Now, if I take the Cinefoil, and I cut half the grid out, because I can, right? Because I have a heat-safe metal piece of flag, basically. So I'm gonna block out the right side of her face like we did when we blocked it out with the Cinefoil on the on that third picture, and see what we get. This, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me show you. Can you guys see how much is blocked out? So I have, we'll block out a little more. We'll do 2/3 of the grid blocked out, right? 2/3 of the grid blocked out, right? So now we go back into this, same power, same exposure. Let's see what happens. You see how we don't have the same look now? You only got the same look because that was raw light getting around the Cinefoil. This is a grid cutting down your light, and now the spread of that's even cut down even smaller because you're blocking out some of the grid. Let's go to TTL and see if TTL says we need more light. This is half the grid blocked out. Interesting, right? So I give it more power. I don't change anything. So now what do I want to do here? Well, I like the one on the right. I think that we go to dark on her cheek line, but we have the fall off here giving her shape. So we have that look. What we could do is see what happens when we move the Cinefoil over so that we just have a little sliver of the grid left, and see what happens. But in the end, this is suffocating the light out of the fixture so much that you're not going to get the look that we had with the Cinefoil when we did that custom shape, right? So let's go back to this. I'm going to keep it the same power we were just at, and take a look. You see that? It's not the same. This is the Cinefoil shaping the light. This is the grid inhibiting the spread of the light, and the Cinefoil inhibiting. Wait, hold on a second. The left is Cinefoil shaping the light that we literally shape with. On the right is the same amount of the light being covered, but the grid is inhibiting that light spread, and then the Cinefoil is blocking that grid, which is inhibiting that light spread. So it's not the same thing as blocking the light, which can reach around and go differently. You guys see what's going on here? Two different lights here. You know? So I didn't change the power until I put the grid. So we kept the power the same till I saw this. Then I was like, okay, this is telling me that the light needs more power. Let's see what TTL says we need. This is what TTL said we need. And then here's me blocking out half the grid. You can actually see it in real time. you can see how much of that grid is just getting suffocated. There was probably a bit of the color shift, sure. There could be color shift from the Cinefoil for sure. It's something that the light is getting absorbed and affected by for sure. You know? But I mean, we started here, right? We put on the Cinefoil to block that background. We shaped the subject with the Cinefoil. We started here. We put the grid on. The grid eats up light. We TTL'd it, and then we covered half the grid with Cinefoil, right? So this is all with just literally shaping light, literally. Does that make sense for you guys? You know, so there's so much license in your hands, literally, physically, with something like Cinefoil. It's awesome. It's totally awesome. I'm a big fan of it. It's also one of those things you can just keep in your bag, and after you get the shots that you've been looking for, you can take it out and start physically with your hands molding that light how you want to mold it, right? Okay. Yeah, there's so many things, and it's one of those, it's so low cost. You don't have to go crazy, you know? Oh. And then I get a lot of people like, well, why can't I just spray paint foil? One, you're not going to have the same heavy gauge that can hold its shape. Two, you're going to unroll a whole roll of aluminum foil and spray it with heat-resistant spray paint, let it dry, and see if it even is this even. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're crazy. So, moral of the story is, get a roll of it, throw pieces of it in your bag, you know, fold it nice, and it'll last you. It'll last you. Just fold it nice, and you can have Cinefoil whenever you need it on the fly. So if you want to see more with that, check out the video on my channel. All right, but that was a cool question, Kathy. I didn't see in the chat. I hope you're well. But yeah, how you guys feeling? You all right? Am I in overtime? Whatever. I gotta tell you, I have this like heavy, numb feeling in my shoulder, and I don't know what to do about it. It started last night. How long have you had that piece? So check this out. You ready for this? This Cinefoil is from these lights. Let me see if I can show you guys. So the Cinefoil is from the lights in the event space. Let me show you. So these lights up here have Cinefoil flags so that they don't spill onto the background where our projector is. Remember, projectors can only get as dark as the darkest part of the environment. Black doesn't exist. It's the absence of light. So in order to make sure that we get somewhere close to a readable image on the projector when we're doing demos, these lights have grids, and they have, I don't know, probably like 9-10 inches of Cinefoil flagging it from cascading onto the background to keep it dark back here, because the whole point of this is to right about here, let me see if I can switch for you guys. So right about here, we need it to start going dark, because I can't have light hit this projection screen if I can help it. I mean, to make happen what happens in this space, to look the way it does in about a 10 by 10 square, it takes a lot of tricks, and one of those tricks is Cinefoil, without a doubt. So that camera focus tracked you perfectly. Z6 IIIs, man. That's what we stream on Z6 IIIs, man. You know? But I have had pieces of Cinefoil in my kit for years. It's not something that goes bad or perishable. It doesn't dry out and break apart. It doesn't shift in color, really. Can it shift your light's color? Yes. Don't forget, it's still, even if this is absorbing light, there's still something going on where it's bouncing light around and can change a couple things. So don't overlook that. But it can happen. It can totally happen. You know, everybody all right? Wow, we are at 60 people and 60 likes. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have been enjoying this channel. I've been working pretty hard on it. I'm putting together compilations of past live streams in case you missed them. I put out the Peter Hurley and Jerry Guionis together. I put together Amy Touchette and Phil Penman, street photographers. I put together my two Italian filmmakers, Sal and Matteo. That was a really good one. So, you know, there's a Lindsay Adler compilation. They're 2 to 3 hours a piece, so just put them on while you're editing. Why not? You might pick up something that you didn't pick up the first time or something like that, you know? Or maybe you missed it, you know? So don't forget to drop comments on stuff, you know? It helps out. Every little bit of interaction on this channel helps out. I promise you that. Hopefully we can grow this channel. I really want to get it to 100K. I want that silver play button, guys. I really do. I'm killing myself every Monday for you guys, trying to resuscitate this channel and keep the heartbeat going. Hopefully, you know, it's helping you guys out there. For me, I think this is a rare forum for you guys to have these like micro master classes from really, really credible people that are doing things in front of your face live. They're not polished. Like what's happening is happening in front of your face, and you can always jump in the chat and ask them any questions you need, or if something didn't stick, ask them something more in depth about something they showed you, you know? So hopefully we can get this channel rocking, man. I hope so, you know? Everybody all right? Let me see if there's any other questions on Instagram. I'm sorry. Let me see if I missed anything. Let me see if I missed anything. I don't see. Just a bunch of fire photos, it looks like. Oh, someone's asking your choice of roller bags for on-location work, soft or hard cases. No surprise, I'm a big fan of Think Tank rollers. The Production Manager 30, the 40, the Security V3 is like my favorite carry-on case. But you can't ever go wrong with a Pelican if you don't need a lot of internal space. I mean, they're industry standard for a reason, but I like to have a lot of internal space for whatever I can shove in there, right? The Security V3 is a great bag, but the Production Manager 30 and the Production Manager 40 have been go-to cases for me. I keep the Production Manager 30. Let me see if we even have it. The Production Manager 30 I keep around for my mid-range kit, like my 250 watt second lights and stuff like that. For my bigger lights, I use the Production Manager 40. Production Manager 30? Let me just type in 30. Maybe it'll come up. Ah, okay, so they're on a different version of it. I didn't know that. So this is the 30, and this is the 40. Okay, so the 30, oh, they totally changed it. Mine has a big front pocket. I guess they changed that, but it is a nice sized case to get around with. But if you got a lot, you got bigger lights, you got more grip, you got a lot more stuff, the Production Manager 40 is dope. I mean, you're looking at a pack and head kit in there with lenses and 2 bodies. Like they got you, you know? If you're gonna be carrying around something like C-stands, which I don't recommend, but you can get the Production Manager 50. I think that still exists, right? Yeah, the 50. This can fit a C-stand in there. This is a no joke. Yeah, see, look, you can fit a C-stand in there if you needed to, which is crazy. For me in New York, I don't want to ever get a car and go, oh, it doesn't fit in the trunk. You know, I don't know if the 50 definitely fits in every trunk, so. This channel gave me the confidence to push into strobes this year. Love what y'all have done. Main reason I shop at Adorama is because I want to support the education content you put out. Thank you so much. And that's exactly what you're doing, guys, is this all takes resources, and I don't ever care what, I'm never trying to sell you anything, and I don't care what you guys buy, but I do care that you get the stuff you need and keep going, right? And I would like to think that you're also supporting the community. I got kids here in the store that are between gigs, are working gigs, whatever, but they're at these lighting counters and at the camera counters to help people figure out what tools they need. But that's supporting, you're supporting those kids, you're supporting those younger next generation pros, you know? So I appreciate you guys coming through for that, for sure. It means a lot. In fact, I'm gonna take a picture of that right now. Yoink. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. All right. You guys have any other questions? I didn't have a plan like usual for today for like the 1,000th time, but I'm here for you guys. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. There's nothing like really cold brew when you want coffee. It's just, especially when it's like a deep flavor one, you know? Again, guys, you can scan this QR code, follow Adorama events, follow Adorama events on Eventbrite. Any other questions, guys? If you're new here, hit subscribe. You want to jump in these chats while we're live, make sure that you are hitting the bell. I didn't get Gotham today because I walked the opposite direction, but Gotham is our proud partner of CWC, and Gotham Roasters on 19th Street is owned by a photographer and a filmmaker. Again, supporting each other, right? So if you are coming to an event here, make sure you go check out Gotham on 19th and come hang out here at 5 p.m. for a demo or a class. How have you been liking the 55 1.7? The GFX, it's beautiful. I like the close focus. It's the closest focusing lens I have for the GFX system. It's a really, really cool focal length. It's like sort of awkward, but not. It's really hard to explain. I think it's a really fun lens to throw on a GFX, especially with it being physically small, you know? Oh man, I need hydration. Could you do a live show on live streaming production basics? I'll be honest with you, I just don't think I'm an authority on that. Can I make something work? I always make something work, right? I like mad scientist this whole thing, right? But I don't think I'm the guy for that. You know who does really good live stream stuff? What's his name again? Let me just really quickly. Epos Vox, that guy. He does really good. This guy, I think, does really good live streaming setup content. If you guys want to check him out, yeah, I'll go with that. I will go with that. How many cameras do you have for this event space? You show us every angle. Yeah, so this is one. So I had 6. I cut it back to 5 because we were never using the 6th one, and I needed the video feed for something else. So this is camera 1. This is camera 2. What's going on? Camera 2, right? Then I got camera 3, which is my fail-safe. If something's going haywire, cut to camera 3. I'll figure something else out over here. And my favorite, of course, is 4. 4 to the floor. Camera 4. And I think this one shows you guys the most useful because you can see the distances and really what's happening overhead. And then the fun one is camera 5, which is basically the audience feed. Hold on. Which is basically the audience. And it's also like cinematic because you can see how shallow it gets while we're like, it looks pretty cool, right? Like it has like a special vibe to it. In fact, let me fix this camera angle while I'm over here. How awkward is this, huh? Hey, look at me, I'm so awkward. Let's lower this a little bit and bada bing it over here, and that should be good. All right. Whoop. Okay. So that's camera 5. And this is also the camera that I move so that we can do CWC in more of a direct line into the store when we're filming that way. But camera 1 is like my go-to. Like this is the one that I feel is the most like, you get on with a little bit of everything kind of, you know? So this isn't a 14 to 30. This is a 14 to 24 2.8 over here. This is a 14 to 24 2.8. And these are all Nikon Z6 IIIs. All right. Do you move a camera for CWC or set up a temporary one? So I take camera 5, which is behind here is a truss. Have you guys ever seen behind here? Am I showing you behind the curtain? This truss over here, I can unclamp the camera, run it to the middle, and then I set up from there. Well, I do set up a light just for CWC. You can probably tell. And then I use the truss over here. I use this truss. I lower the lights and I put them warm on the sides so that it gives everybody like a halo cutout. So it's blue back there, cold, warm rim light, and then I key it up. And I think it looks pretty cool. I think hopefully you guys feel it looks pretty cool, you know. But this was, I had to figure this out from nothing, and I really wanted every type of stream or content or whatever we film here to kind of have a different vibe. Like this one is sloppy, right? Like the windows are open and nobody's here but us. CWC is Coffee with Creators. So Coffee with Creators is a podcast we do every Wednesday, and you guys are always welcome. Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, whenever we can. Make sure you check that out. There's 60 guests, 60 guests that you should know about, that you should listen and to what they got to say and what they do and how they do it. And it's live. You can jump in that chat, ask all the questions you want. And when it's not live, you can jump in the comments. So I want, hopefully we get the views up on that. And it's sponsored by basically the entire industry. Every episode, we get a brand involved somehow. And Tenba has been great because they've been giving away a free bag to every one of our guests, and it's a nice bag. Tenba is legit, man. Ooh, man. I haven't felt like I've done a good stream yet. Does that make sense? In the 17 episodes of this channel, of this playlist, I don't feel like I've done one good stream. Like nothing's felt like I've just knocked it out of the park, man. I don't know. It's just, it's a weird feeling. And maybe that's why, maybe that's what keeps me chasing it a little bit, you know? Who's the friendliest guest speaker you have had here? Honestly, everyone's been great. Everyone takes this platform seriously. They have a respect level for it. Nobody's been, and keep in mind, like this is 15 years of doing these, the event space, right? So we've vetted, we've built relationships, we call in who we know, the trade show people that we've seen on stage, worked with them, things like that. So we get pretty good people. The toughest, I mean, Daniel Norton will always drive me crazy. The guy made me build a darkroom in here, but we love Daniel. He built the original event space. He's the GOAT, you know, of the event space. So, you know, I think, as far as, but it's, I think what happens with people that come in here to shoot a demo for the first time is one, they get a little weirded out that the space isn't huge. I know it's not the biggest space ever, but if you know what you're doing, you can make anything happen in here. And we've proven that, right? And then I think another thing is they get a little overwhelmed between an in-room audience and a virtual audience. They don't know who to address or who they're talking to. So I try to always make them realize, play to the in-room audience. The chat room will always be there. But the reality is you're watching back an event. You're witnessing back something that was live. You know, you kind of want to make sure that you guys feel like, man, I wish I was there for it, you know? And I don't know what it's like for attendees. I don't know if someone has been here on stream versus in the chairs and could share what their feel is, but I always go back and forth between who has the better experience, online or in the room. I have changed the event space a little bit. One of the screens now shows you the camera feeds. So if you're in the back of the audience and you want to see, you know, if you're in the back and you want to see this, it's now on a screen so you can see the demo from where the online audience is seeing it from. And I think that's a huge benefit, especially when we do setups that block a lot of the cameras, like huge umbrellas, or like Peter Hurley's triangle will always block a bunch of stuff. So I think that's been a really good change to the event space. How do you usually find models for your shoots? Do you mean the demos or like my actual career? For the demos, I try to bring in people that not only are reliable models, but know how to be a demo model. There's a difference between shooting and shooting in front of a crowd. And there's a difference between shooting to get those shots and shooting to prove a technique. When I work with a demo model enough, they kind of understand that, hey, we're going to have some bad shots. They know that I'm going to zoom into their face and hopefully they don't feel awkward about it. They know that I'm trying to show what's going to happen when I change this and change that. And they'll know, hey, don't change my stance or my posture or my pose, basically, because I'm trying to show you the before and after of the light changing, not their pose changing. And if I can get that stress of coaching a model where I need them to be for a demo, which is much different than for a project, or if I get that stress off my back, it's, as a presenter, it is a night and day difference. It really is. It really, really is. Do you ever get people peering through or knocking on the windows during a demo? No, I actually don't think they can see. One, during a demo, we drop the shades. We block the window, number one. Number two, the windows are open during the podcast. And I have had some interesting characters, I'll say, just stand there and stare through me. And that's a lot of fun when I'm trying to produce a live stream, talk to a guest, keep a chat room going. I mean, so much happens at once for Coffee with Creators that it is like brutal sometimes. But so far, I haven't really had a crazy incident or anything, you know. I appreciate that, John. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. What I really enjoy about it most, it feels like I'm just hanging out with you in the store. That's the whole point of this. You know, I got Maury over here staring at me all the time. You want to come on? Come say hello. You guys want to say hello to Maury? Check 1, 2, check. Check, check, check. Maury, come around, come around, come around, come around. Watch the camera. Guys, this is the famous Maury that I'm always talking about.
Hi guys, how you doing, everybody? How's Seth treating you guys?
So Maury is always in the Canon area, but how long have you been at Adorama?
14 years. 14 years.
Maury's been here forever, and I think Maury goes out of his way to email everybody that he's ever helped out with something, checks on if they need stuff, checks out what they've been looking at, remembers things they're looking at to drop them an email.
I try my best to help the customer out as much as I can.
You
know that also.
I know you know that. I'm not kidding you. I thought I'd get in here early. He's always here before me answering emails from who?
From customers. I always do my best to help customers out. You know that.
Look at this. Come on.
Fix my
Come
tape,
on.
please.
Come
Fix my
on.
tape.
What is this? Guy is a huge Beatles fan.
Right there.
If
right there.
If you're ever in New York, Paul McCartney was in the store once.
Correct.
I thought he was going to lose his mind. What are you leaving me?
I'm leaving. I have a customer waiting for me.
Oh, no, you don't. You're lying. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying.
Camera shy.
Say what's up. Oh, that's Marcus. There's Marcus.
Marcus, what's going on? I think you're coming in, Marcus. I see him right there. I can't believe he's calling me. Guys, take care. You're in great hands with Seth.
That's Maury. Every time you guys hear me making fun of Maury, that's Maury. Bar mitzvah in 1917. The face of a look at this fucking look at this, look at this guy. Look at this guy. But that's Adorama, right? Like that. These are our people. They take care of people. They've been here forever, you know. But this is also Marcus's guy. So whenever he's like new lens comes out, he bugs Maury. Good old Maury. Look, if I'm not making fun of you, that's when I really don't like you. You have to be on a level. I don't know. Maybe that's a New York thing. I don't know. But I love that me and Dan are so close that we can make fun of each other. If anyone said to me the things he's said to me, I'd lose my mind. But I respect Dan so much. To have a guy like that bust you around, it's a sign that you're on a level, you know. Same thing with Joe McNally and Ab Cisse. I love Ab to death. One of my faves, man. But I mean, we have such a good roster. Our guests on CWC are awesome, but our regular hosts, are you kidding me? We got Lindsay Adler, we got Gavin Hoey, of course. I mean, David Bergman, are you kidding me? Like, we've had some really great hosts over the years of the channel, for sure. Mark, how do you technically just text somebody? You technically just texted Maury? I'm surprised that guy can even text. Have you ever seen that guy type? Maury types with just one finger at a time. It's adorable, adorable. But his daughter just got married. We're very happy for him, you know? Oh, the podcast me and Dan did on PPA. If you guys want to check that out, that could use some views. I feel like I'm just slinging links at you guys all day. PPA, Seth Miranda, Daniel, Norton. Let's see if this comes up. Let's see if this even comes up. Oh, it does come up. It comes up right away. Share, copy link. If you guys want to see me and Daniel hanging out on somebody else's channel for a change, which, by the way, was so much easier than having to produce a stream myself. So I would like to go on some other channels where I don't have to be the host, being a guest. Didn't know it was that much better. I am down to just be a guest. If you guys know of any channels, let them know. Let them know. We can do this. We can talk. You know, some big channels out there in the Maury, they're saying congrats to your daughter. He says, tell everybody thank you. He's holding a bagel. I don't even know where he got that. No. This place, man, I love that it's organic. I love that I know all the faces, all the people. When I was 100% full-time freelance pro, I came here, and I came here because Daniel was here, and Dan was the only guy that was giving me the right information on the gear that I was, for the things I was trying to do, and had the right experience. And I would like to say, if I may, our channels have actual professionals that are speaking right to you, that are performing and shooting live right in front of you. It's not a bunch of content kids that are just making videos and just reciting a bunch of specs to you. It's insights and translations on things from people that have been through it, right? And you're watching us be through it live. And I think that is so important. And I'm so glad that this space exists and that they let me build this space for us. But that's the advantage here. It's not just some trade show every 2 years. It's not just an app on your phone with some guys in blue vests showing up to deliver something to you. It is legitimate. It is an actual platform. It's an actual community. It's the actual industry right to you. And this event space wouldn't exist if the industry didn't back it. Don't forget, I needed to build this. I did not have much of a budget, and we had Nikon delivering 12 cameras basically, because they refreshed them, 12 cameras and 9 lenses for me. Nanlite delivering, I'm going to say like $25,000 in lighting. Manfrotto Avenger with all the grip. Everything that's been bolted everything's up on Manfrotto and Avenger. BenQ gave us the projector. Mackie gave me the PA system. You know, I mean, everybody heard I was doing this and they didn't even flinch. They came through, all the brands. I can't thank them enough. The support has been bananas. You know, Pro Photo with all the loaner gear as well. But everything from, I'm looking around trying to see if I forgot anybody. But that's huge. That's huge. So these brands understand. And if you noticed, there's no logos or branding anywhere. They didn't say, well, you can do that, but you have to put a giant brand sign in the middle of everything. Like, no. They just knew that this place had to get built. They appreciate when people realize how it was built, when they're here, they notice things. So that's what's going on, you know? that's one of the reasons I'm so proud of this space is everybody came together for it. You know, they all understand the value of it. They all understand the need for it. And the last component of it is you guys, whether it's in this chat or in those chairs. Like, we can't do this to avoid. We just can't, you know? So, oh, Westcott also, there's loaner strobes from them. I want to thank Westcott for that. You know, so it is what it is, right? Well, we appreciate you, Vagar. Maybe one day you come in and check out Adorama if you ever make it to New York. I stopped making my own shirts, Brad. They just weren't, they were just costing me more money than anything. So maybe I'll revisit that another time. All right. What time are we at? Oh, geez, we're definitely in overtime. I mean, is there an overtime? Is there? I don't even know. What are these streams even if they can't be chaotic and a mess? Oh, and you know, shout out to Adorama creating the Brooklyn Reflector for all of us. So if you guys come to an event here in the event space, you can get yourself a Brooklyn Reflector. It's the only way you're going to get one is you got to come here in person. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Nah, Monday Night Raw isn't on for a while. Don't worry about it. I feel like I'm just pulling people in. Eric, you want to come here? Come on, Eric. You want to talk about the used department? To all these young kids with your trendy jacket? Oh, man, he's coming. Look at this. Come on. Guys, let me introduce you to Eric. You guys we never talk about Eric. And there's a good reason for that. No, I'm just kidding. Look at this jacket. This is Eric from the used department.
Absolutely. You know, if anybody looking to come into the store, trade or sell their used gear, I'm the guy to talk to. Don't know what camera I'm looking at.
This one. I forget that I'm the only one that lives in here.
Staring at the monitor. I hope you guys got a nice side profile over it. But yes, you're looking to come, sell, or trade at Adorama, I'm the guy to see. We'll make deals happen here. Yeah.
What do you think has been some of the weirdest stuff that came through the used department?
Oh, we've seen everything. I think the dentistry, cameras and lenses
That's dope.
are always a oddball.
Mike's not on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on. Check one. It's on. It's just
I
low.
gotta talk closer. I haven't been on the stage for a long time. Yeah. So
He's been in death metal bands his whole life. No.
if you guys have any peculiar items that you don't think might sell on the internet, that's also my specialty. So if you're looking for anything, you know, trying to get rid of the vintage, trade it in for something a little bit more modern, we could definitely facilitate that here.
So you guys have those weird Kodak cameras over there.
Absolutely.
What are those? Can we just talk about what those even are?
Are we referring to the
420s.
Oh, you know what? That's going to be a better question for Angel.
Okay.
He's an expert on those. Those are just decorative pieces for me.
He's not talking into the mic, guys. I'm sorry.
But yeah, my apologies. But again, we have a little museum exhibit back here that
It's true.
Seth can tell you about. Lots of oldies and goodies.
My favorite are the Polaroids. I think you guys always get a good, you had the Spice Girls Polaroid camera.
Oh, that's my favorite also. Yeah. The promotional cameras are the best to look at. So we have a Spice Girls Polaroid.
You had the Barbie one.
We got a Budweiser 35 millimeter camera. If you guys are looking to get a little intoxicated with your shooting.
So Skip LA is asking, what's the chance of getting a Nikon AIS 105? That's a sharp lens.
That's a beautiful portrait lens. The quintessential portrait lens. Check our website for our used catalog. It updates every night.
Okay.
AIS 105 is something we see fairly often, so I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Do you have any lenses for Zenza Bronica?
Absolutely. So Zenza Bronica we don't see too often, but we should have something in stock. Again, check the website. I don't have my computer in front of me, guys, but I do see these lenses come in all the time. They do sell out fast as well. Yeah, definitely
Also,
check our catalog.
some of the fun of the used department is just stopping by and seeing these mounds of crazy gear. You had those monster Aries one day, then the next day you've got a 16 by 20 camera.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of cool to swing. If you're in New York, even you don't have to go buy something at a store. Go swing by the used
The
department.
used department is polarizing to look at because the store is so clean and so meticulous. You come into my department, it can look a little bit like a thrift store, but we just have cool stuff all over the place. So if you want to just come and chat as well, it's just a nice place to be.
And how can they
Best
get
place in the store.
how can they get a quote?
You could do a quote online. So if you click the use tab on Adorama.com, you kind of just fill out your information. There's an algorithm that'll give you like a pre-made quote. You could ship it on over, or you could just come on in. We'll take care of you.
So guys, that's Eric. He doesn't get any shouts. And man, you're a father now. You just got
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, just back from paternity leave. So if you guys want to, put me to work, I'm here. I'm here.
He's holding a sign over there. We'll buy cameras for food.
All right, guys.
Yeah, it was good seeing you, man. Thank you. So that's Eric. There's also Angel. But the used department, that's what separates things, man. If you're trying to upgrade, if you see the new camera and you got the current camera, that's your best pathway, right? And it's also a good way to think about when you're buying gear is, will this have a return on investment? Should I go to upgrade, right? I know we're in some weird times right now with values and stuff like that, but that's also part of it, One of the reasons I went into like something like the Nikon Z9 was I said, oh, it has no mechanical shutter. That means the shutter count isn't going to affect the value, right? It's not a mechanical. So that was one of the things I thought about with that, Can we get a show where Eric explains how to shop for used items? You know what? I'll talk to him. We'll see what happens. But you see how you just met Maury, daughter getting married. You just got Eric, just became a father. It's human here. There's people here, right? There's a heartbeat here, That's a big difference. Where's my coffee? So the best thing about this channel is you're teaching new photographers that photo shoot is really about problem solving. Everything on a set is a problem solving. That's the whole thing. Even if you understand from A to Z what you're doing, getting an end result is a solution to whatever you're doing. Your variables will always be there. You're always going to have a subject that you've never shot before, that you haven't worked with before, and the solution is what you end up with, right? So if you don't look at it like a problem-solving thing, to be honest with you, that's half of what keeps me going is I'm going to go solve this issue. There's people like, hey, what do you love to shoot? I'm at a point where I'm kind of like, it's not about what I'm shooting. It's about how I'm shooting it and how I'm getting a solution to that end result I'm looking for. That's my thing right there. Like, at least in this era of my career, I've shot so much weird stuff in my life that it's like, I don't know, You're also talking to a guy that shot a lot of creatures, zombies, and aliens that nobody shoots, right? Everybody's always shooting with the prettiness. I'm shooting with the griminess, All right. You guys have any last questions or anything? Watching photographer is really an art form. Reminds me of watching a painter choose. Now you're getting all romantic, Robert. I don't know. I don't get all gushy on me, man. What is going on here? Okay. Are these streams going to turn into 2 hours now? Is that what we're doing? I'm going to start charging you guys double. They want an Eric show. Yep, see? I'm going to get them on a contract. I want a monster wedding photo shoot. I actually almost shot a zombie wedding. I don't want to get into that story, but it just wasn't going to work out, so. Seth Ross over here. 2 hours. I'm going to charge you guys double. That's it. We're going to go from 0 to nothing. Oh my God. I'll be honest. I always thought that at least at this point, we would get to a place where the guys I know would end up showing up and just trying to like heckle me or something like that, So are we good on this? So you guys understand Cinefoil. We understand grids. We're good on that, right? Yes, I did marry Marissa on the channel as a zombie. I totally forgot about that. Why do you guys remember things I can't remember? What is this? That was for Joe McNally. We love Joe McNally. He might even be here in a half hour. Maybe I'll go for the stretch. How you guys doing? Maybe we'll go for the full stretch and we'll have Joe show up. Maybe I'll just keep going live till Joe shows up. I don't know. Joe has a habit of getting busy. And then I don't know if he's going to show up or not. But me and Joe will be in London in December. Yeah, Marcus, you can't heckle me. I'm at a place where you're not going to heckle me. I just ordered a backpack. I love it, but they accidentally sent 2. Who should I talk to about what you guys want me to do with the second one? Whoa, Robert Z, are you in the chat? Please help me. You added 2 sandbags because one was light. How much should the average one weigh? Well, that depends on what you're counterweighting, right? So on average, a sandbag is about 15 pounds, right? You have 10-pound bags, you've got 25-pound bags. You can always, my philosophy is it's like, they're like gels. You can always stack them. I like to go for 15-pound sandbags. But really, I think one of these, because these I had to fill myself, I think one of them, it was like the last bag I filled with whatever gravel I had left. Because inside these bags, the way I do them for places like this, yeah, this is a light one too, is I don't use loose sand. You guys want to open up a sandbag? I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these are Manfrotto professional sandbags, so you can fill them with whatever you want. I have one of the sandbags in there. They're filled with tools, but these are not loose sand. These are actually gravel bags, like decorative gravel from like Home Depot or something. And I keep them in the plastic. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh. I keep them in the plastic bags so there's no mess ever. Like it just stays in there. Why have loose sand in a place I don't need to have an issue? So this is just decorative gravel, which by the way is like slowly being ground into a paste here. Hold on, there's dust everywhere now, right over my camera. Great. Not going to change that lens today. So now it's plastic inside of a Pro bag that has double Velcro on it. And we're good. Man, my shoulder is not okay. My shoulder is not okay. But this, I don't know how much this weighs, but it doesn't feel, maybe it's a 15. It doesn't feel like a 15 though. And there's also, you know, you don't have to do sandbags. You can do counterweights that clamp on. You know, there's a lot of counterweight options, you know. Man, should not have opened that. But weight is weight, right? And you can't ever have too much counterweight on the bottom of a stand. It's just going to keep on being more stable, right? But you can have too much weight on top on an arm, because here you're just trying to do a counterweight to balance. Here, you're trying to keep it stable to the ground, you know? Yeah, this noise reduction's doing all right. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it. All right, so Robert's taking care of you. What if I wanted to build a sandcastle? Well, you're out of luck, kid. I don't know what to tell you. Build it out of mashed potatoes, then you can eat it. Come on. Come on. Wow, what just happened? Oh my God. I have got some shooting pains going into my fingers right now, and this is not okay. What did I do? What did I do? All right, any questions, guys? Last questions? I mean, we are entering into the stratosphere of the 2-hour time limit here. But I figure we're not going to be doing any streams this week. So consider this me making it good for you guys, going a little long today. Wow, what is happening? Yo, so if you guys don't know, there's an Adorama Discord I am trying to resurrect. So adorama.com/Discord will take you there, obviously. Adorama.com. And if you go to the rules and hit OK, it'll unlock all of the chats for you. So share work in there. Keep it PG, kids, all right? Ask questions in there. I'm trying to stay active in there. So hopefully, you you know, we can get some momentum going on. I know I have my own Discord, and some of you are members of that as well. But this one, you know, there's actual Adorama customer service in there. There's also some brand reps. I got to shake them a little bit to wake up, but they're in there. And there's also deals that are being listed in there all the time. Man, I have no idea what I did to this shoulder. I wish I knew what I did. It's I hope it's not a rotator cuff, because that's gonna be bad. Oh, I'm glad you liked the Hurley Guionis. I thought that when I watched both their streams back, I realized they're really showing you how to master working with people, right? So that's the topic. And I think they went well together. I'm gonna see if I can put together something on business for this week, you know, try to put something on the channel where you guys can have something to play. I know it's 4th of July week for us in the States, but that's not everybody, right? No, I think it's just bad right now because it just happened like hours ago. This is, it's probably just inflamed and freaking out right now. God, man, there's dust everywhere now. Last call. Well, ice lights are cool. Just know constant lights are susceptible to the ambient light. So you're going to need a controlled light environment if you're not using it as just like a fill light. So just know that, all right? But yeah, the ice light's a nice light if you want a constant light. I'll be on the Discord. Okay, so Robert will be in the Discord, Melanie. If you're in the Adorama Discord, make sure there's a customer service room in there. You guys can list some things that are going on in there. So hydrogen tablets will reduce inflammation. I never heard of that, but okay. I will look into that. Never even heard of hydrogen tablets, but okay. Last call, guys. Hey, look at that. We got some people entering the Discord. Great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good to see it. Make sure you share some work in there. Make sure you ask some questions there. Share whatever you're shooting with gear-wise. You know, let us know where you're from. All sorts of stuff. It's you know, it's a play space for you guys, okay? Whew. All right. We're hitting the 2-hour mark. I might as well go the whole way. Got a few more minutes. You guys have any last questions, let me know. If I can do a demo on it, I will try to do one as quick as I can. Yeah, I know. The problem is that whoever's in my Discord, it's kind of the same as the Adorama Discord because it's photo nerds, right? So I understand, you know, not being active in both. I understand that. Okay. All right. Before we get out of here, I have, oh, it's over here. The events that are coming up, guys. The events that are coming up. Coffee with Creators returns on the 9th. Sam Beret, awesome. Love this guy. Great filmmaker, photographer. He's been on the channel. You've probably seen him a few times, but also I was in Japan with him for that Sigma launch. So he's good people. The Critique comes back on July 22nd. If you are in New York, July 22nd, you're going to come here. You can submit up to 3 images for me and Daniel Norton to look at, and we do not stream it. We just have like a group discussion in the event space. It's like Adult Swim. It's very chill. No anxiety. We don't bash your images. We give constructive criticism with, I think, like 50 years of experience between me and Daniel, right? Hopefully you guys can join us that. I know that the submissions are filling up, but also, just so you know, we also have on July 10th, Thursday, Daniel Norton comes back and he'll be doing how to set lighting ratios. That is going to be some precision. That's going to be some math. That's going to be some nerd stuff. It's going to be a little next level for all you guys that want to get deeper and tighter on your lighting setups. Then July 15th, it's apparently Flashpoint week here. Who knew? Photo walk with Fujifilm and Gary Hughes. Gary Hughes. So you guys can go walk around New York. Make sure you hit RSVP for that. There's a photo walk on the 9th with Charles Chester. He was on this channel. If you want to look, he did single light portraits out of a backpack. That's July 9th. Make sure you RSVP for that. They start at 11 o'clock. Then there's a photo walk on July 15th with Gary Hughes at 11 o'clock. And then Gary's going to be in here at 5 p.m. on July 15th. July 15th, 5 p.m. Gary Hughes. Big portraits in small spaces. And then the next day, July 16th, Johnny Edwards is going to be on Coffee with Creators, but he's also going to be doing layering light for powerful portraits. So, we don't do the critiques online for Adorama. I do those on my channel, but Adorama, we find, one, people don't want to put their work out there forever for people to leave comments and judge their work on when they're not asking for their opinion. Two, it's a lot more of an intimate setting where we can actually talk directly to the people, giving them feedback, and it's not about a live stream or anything like that. So we don't live stream the critiques here. No. Sure. Yes. A Sekonic 308 is fine as a light meter for what you need to get a flash reading or an ambient light reading. The things you get on light meters that are more expensive or have more features are things like percentage of ambient light versus your strobe, or your flash duration, or, you know, things like that is what you get. Spot meter readings, you know, things like that, you know. So yeah, it's a stacked month for July. We're just taking it easy on this week because 4th of July happens in America, and not many people come out for the events, and I don't want to, you know, burn some good demos and talks on them not being here, right? Yeah, you're such a tough guy, Marcus, let me tell you. Let me tell you. All right, guys, it is hitting 2 o'clock. Last questions. Last call. I'm serious this time. Last call, because I got to pack all this stuff. I got to drive Quinn home. You know, the commute is all the way to the corner. It's a whole thing. My friend went to the in-person critique feedback, didn't like the critique. He admits he was stubborn, took it though, and booked a bridal job when he adjusted the crops, like you guys said. Yeah, a lot of the biggest problem with critiques isn't the people are shy to share their work. It's the people who have an ego that can't handle a point of view that's not what they're presenting. And if you can't handle that, you shouldn't be putting work out into this world, because not everybody will like your work. There's brilliant photographers, legacy photographers, that still have criticism on their work. If you are coming to critique, you are literally coming to be critiqued. We'll tell you the good. We'll tell you things that we think you can change. But if you are coming to a critique to just get praised, to just get your ego stroked, you are coming to the critique incorrectly. I do not show my work to guys like Joe McNally or Daniel and be like, tell me how awesome I am. I go, where do you think I could have gone with this differently, or what would you have done, or something like that. So I think if you cannot check your ego in this industry, you're doing yourself a disservice. Even if you're not going to critiques, you need to humble yourselves. And this leads us all the way back to people trying to argue that you can set kids on fire for portraits. Egos not listening to safety. Forget about creative, right? There are more critiques set for this year. The next one is September, I want to say 16th, but I could be wrong, but it's somewhere mid-September. We set that after the first critique, so we don't put the critiques out all at once. we found that it gets very confusing for submissions. So yeah. It's not sometimes you need a fresh pair of eyes. You always need a fresh pair of eyes on stuff. How can you grow if you're only seeing your own point of view, your own perspective? How can you get anywhere or realize? You guys have to realize when you shoot something, you're putting it out there into this world. Don't you want to have an idea of what the world is going to take as a perception of the work you're putting out there? They don't know what you're trying to say. They weren't there at the time you shot it. You know how many times we've had the critique and we say, well, it would have been good if you did this. Oh, well, I was going to do that. Or here's the reason why I couldn't do that in this situation. That's not the excuse we're looking for. You know, the whole point of the critique is to get better for the next time you shoot. It's not about saving your shot in Photoshop. It's not about figuring out what you could have done in Lightroom. It's really about, hey, here's what happened when I shot it this time. If I'm in a similar situation, what are some better decisions I can make, or at least things to consider? You know, it's really off-putting when you have huge egos coming at you from photographers. And I'm talking about peers, colleagues. I go to these trade shows and some of the egos drives me nuts. It's just like, get over yourself a little bit. You got to get over yourself. All right. Oh my gosh. We're at 2 o'clock, guys. I think we're going to call it there. Shoulder is killing me. Hopefully I see you guys in this chat for one of these events coming up. Hopefully I see you guys in those comments of some of the videos that we post on this channel. Hopefully you guys are hitting subscribe, and hopefully you're sharing this channel with somebody out there. Don't forget Coffee with Creators on the main channel, Adorama TV. Don't forget Daniel Norton will be over there on Thursday the 10th. But everything else gets beamed out of here. Okay, guys? I hope you guys have a great holiday week for all of you that celebrate it. And listen, I speak out. If you think that there's things that people are doing on photo shoots that are not safe, say something. They're not even thinking about it. They're not even thinking about what's going on there. They're just trying to be cool, showing you some caveman fire. Oh, fire. Oh, fire. Think deeper. Think bigger. Think properly, you know? All right? I will see you guys. I don't know when. I'll see you guys on Coffee with Creators, probably with Sam Beret. That'll be a good one. If you're in New York, stop by, say what's up to Maury, Eric, check out the used department, say what's up. And I will, oh, here, if you guys want to check out my work, boom, you can check out my work right here. I'm most active on Instagram stories. Some of you may already know that. You can check out my channel for videos on Cinefoil and all the other things I showed you. And I will see you guys. Oh, Joe McNally says he's walking back right now. I'm going to just tell him, awesome. I'm still alive. I'm signing off now. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys have some good barbecue this week, all right? Be good to each other. Everybody be good to each other. And don't be afraid of voicing out if you think somebody's doing something that could actually harm somebody else. That's awesome. Later, guys. Peace.